Hey there, welcome to Pop Culture Cupid.
I'm Alison, love coach, here to help you single people find your way back to love.
And I'm Michal, I'm a single life coach. I help singles embrace themselves and their singleness, as well as develop a healthy self-relationship.
In this podcast, we will look at how pop culture impacts romance, dating, and your love life.
And each week we'll shoot another arrow through another pop culture delusion.
I thought we weren't going to do the whole cheesy thing.
And then burst into smithereens.
Oh my god, dude, that's so cringe!
Sorry, it's in the intro now.
If you make it through the chaos and you enjoy what you hear, please leave a comment, like, subscribe, and go to all the social media.
At Pop Culture Cupid on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Enjoy!
Guys, we're gonna shortly start watching the episode. We can't really share it because of those pesky copyright laws, and we will react and we'll try to make it interactive. This is the first time we're doing this. Please bear with us.
Okay, I've been waiting for this because
so have I.
Avoiding spoilers.
So I've been lucky because we were complaining that the episode was coming out late, but I've been working and then off on a weekend with my lovely boyfriend. Yeah. So I have been kind of on the internet avoiding spoilers. I've just been on the internet. I've just been doing stuff.
Yeah, I saw that a bunch of the old time, like the previous season's participants joined in for the reunion. Oh, look at them! They're trying out Nick Lachey and Vanessa. They're trying out pods for the first time. I think it kind of defeats the purpose once you know what they look like, though.
No, yeah. I think they invited previous. I think they invited previous participants because they knew that this season was so tame. They needed the extra drama.
Oh, they needed the spice.
They did.
Although I think there's enough between what's their faces, Chelsea and Jimmy and Jessica and Trevor. And then Sarah and Lauren and Jeremy, I think there's enough drama over there to last them for a whole season. But cringy. Yeah.
They're still together.
Yeah. Well, we knew that. They're cute. Yeah, they're adorable.
I saw that Kwame and Chelsea were still together because as I was logging into Instagram, a post of them half naked was, and they're still together.
Who?
That's cool. Kwame and Chelsea.
Oh, I like them. Yeah.
Yeah, they were good. She was a bit dramatic, cute. But she was
self-aware. I think he was very on and off all the time, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
I think when someone's so on and off with you, it's much harder to not be dramatic.
Yeah, of course.
So, oh my god, the huge reveal.
Tan tan tan. All right, of each other.
What a setup.
Right, interesting. Oh, that was Janina. I saw that she's done.
I just figured out that she's with someone else from somewhere. I can't remember where, if he was like from the same season as her, but she's with him and they're pregnant.
Yeah. Did you watch that show about all like previous reality TV shows kind of meeting up, like perfect match? Yeah.
Yeah. I saw it. It was ridiculous.
It was.
That was like purely for clout.
Oh yeah. They didn't redo anything after that. Right, so here they are.
No.
Here she is.
How glamorous they all look.
Oh my goodness.
It's extravagant. I wonder who pays for all these dresses and suits.
Netflix.
I mean, like, it's so over the top.
It has to be Netflix because, I mean, so was Trevor's not there. Interesting. It has to be Netflix. I think they've got good production value, right? You know.
Yeah. Is Trevor not there?
Maybe he might come in later.
Like the drama around it. Or they might bring him out later, maybe. I don't know. Jimmy and Chelsea are sitting awfully close together. It looks like they're like he has his hand like around her. But hey, here's Trevor. He's in the pod for some reason. But AD, she's so beautiful.
She is.
I saw that there was this whole thing about how AD,
Oh.
not AD, that they showed that Matt walked out on Sarah, and they both confirmed that he didn't actually walk out on her.
What do you mean?
There was this whole thing on the show that they showed Matt walking out on Sarah in one of their dates without saying bye, whatever, just walking out on
Right,
her.
and he actually didn't walk out.
Yeah, so they confirmed that they didn't walk out, and it just goes to show how edited this show is.
Right.
So reality, but
So his claims about him getting a bad edit are true.
oh, they're so cute.
They are cute. They're cute. So
Aw.
Johnny and Amy. I wish they gave the names each time they showed people so they know who we're talking about. Right, so Johnny has fitted into his wife's family, so they are obviously still married.
Yeah, I just wish he'd cut off that hair.
Right, and they're still
Can't
together.
stand a man with long hair. It really acts in a special kind of way.
Yeah, I gotta say, I like a bald dude. My hairy
Well,
boyfriend.
I don't know
thinks
bald,
that.
but like, what is up
They
with
don't-
her
they-
neckline?
They were the only ones that said yes in the end. Johnny and Amy.
Yeah, they were the only ones who said yes in the end.
So Colleen and her husband that kind of had red flags are still together. Kwame and Chelsea are still together. There's not that first. There is nobody from season 1.
No one from season 1 came, did they?
No.
Wait, oh yeah, because no, they had no, they didn't. Well, no, Janina was in season 1. She just isn't with the person she ended up with.
Right. Cameron.
Yeah, we like Cameron. Well, no, sorry. What was Cameron the one Janina ended up with, or I keep getting confused?
No. Cameron is the one that got married to that black
okay,
woman.
yeah.
I think Camille.
No, 'cause I keep getting it. Can't remember.
Oh,
they're like
Alexis.
showing a whole montage of like here
The
they
best.
are. They're so cute.
They are very cute. Chelsea and Kwame. I think we've got a slight delay between the two of us, but it doesn't matter. Oh,
Wow.
Jewish guy in the
think-
second choice.
I think it's pretty incredible though how many of them are still together.
Yeah.
Like, the percentage of how many couples are successful on the show is low, but the success of the couples that do end the show is quite amazing.
Yeah. Not many of the couples that got married get divorced afterwards. One couple did. Can't remember their names. But I think if they get to the marriage part, then they make it work.
Yeah. I never got why they don't give like the ones that went like why are they so quick to end the pod part? Like why don't they just if someone gets rejected, why don't they give him a chance to like mix with more people? Or do they just already been through everyone so they don't want to anyway?
Because that's not the point of the show.
Well.
I think they did it with that. I can't remember the Jewish lawyer. I can't remember his. I'm so bad with names. Well, they gave he went like back and back to his other
went back and picked it. Yeah, we get it.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, darling. Very much. I look a little different.
She has brown hair.
Yeah, so this is my partner and the father of my baby.
Yeah, she used to be blonde and not pregnant.
So where do we know Blake from? Wasn't he on?
Baby boy.
I don't know. He must be on another. Might have been on another TV reality show.
Is there a name that you guys have picked?
I was sure maybe he was just on another season of Love Is Blind, but maybe
I'm not sure that he was.
Gonna be little.
He looks so familiar to me.
Or a little bit spicier like me, so I just
Oh,
want.
they're just gonna have a beautiful baby though.
I mean, a lot
Yeah.
of people already have his name on it. Like,
She went through a journey as well. She started off quite
She did.
immature.
She was so dramatic.
and dramatic.
No, she
I
was
mean,
like really dramatic.
the guy she was coupled up with wasn't an amazingly mature either, but
No, I think they brought
remember
like
their-
really bad shit out
yeah.
of each other.
And I agree. And I follow her on Instagram.
So it's been a journey. It's been a different.
Oh, perfect
Yeah.
match. And she just went on this growth of just kind of introspection and just saw like what was the worst
Yeah.
thing that came out of her and just dealt with it. I think that's amazing.
Because I rewatched that. She's from season 1, I think, and I rewatched that season not long ago. And every scene with her in it, it really feels like she's acting, like she's part of a telenovela.
Yeah.
That's just what I felt like. Every sentence out of her mouth felt like a script.
Yeah, and her delivery was so kind of
very over the top.
I remember this one scene where she was like, "Did you ever hear me say that it was the best sex? That's probably because it's
Oh
not."
yeah. Yeah.
Let's bring her on out.
It's probably Sarah doing that part already.
Right. We are current flame in Jeremy's life. Dun dun dun. Great. That face, the audience reaction is just like, what? Oh my god. I mean, good for them.
It's
Good for them.
Yeah. He just should have picked her from the beginning.
I think, you know, you're allowed mistakes and you're allowed, especially in these conditions where you're just kind of pushed against each other. It's just there are ways of handling yourself. But then
they did not handle it well.
No. And then, but then again, who cares what, you know, who cares what people think?
Yeah. At the end of the day, people are just gonna, you know,
you don't want to. I disagree with the way how they acted, like both of them. Oh, here's Laura.
Yeah.
But you're not gonna, you know, you're not gonna stop living because you made a mistake.
A lot of women came out of the woodwork suddenly to say, "Oh, he was engaged to me, he was married to me while he was this, so he was dating me." Apparently, it's like a trendy thing. Maybe they also wanted the clout, part of the clout.
I mean, why would you lie? I mean, why would you lie about something like that? Welcome to
because people like sharing everything on TikTok and they like getting likes and follows. People lie all the time on these socials. I see it all the time. People lie just to get the follows and likes. Is Izzy dating Micah?
No, I think they're just next to each other. She is beautiful.
Okay. She is. God, why are we going over this again? The moment you need to share your location with someone, it's like, it's just a red flag. Like, why can't you trust each other to not need to? Seems so weird.
I have like, I shared my location with JT once because I was traveling and I was traveling by night with like through trains and in Germany, and so he got
but
very
that's
worried.
for safety reasons.
Exactly, it's for safety reasons.
Very different. I think this is very like, it's like when you have to feel the need to go through your partner's phone, and you should trust your partner. If you don't trust your partner enough to not have to go through their phone, whether or not something's going on, it means it's just a deeper issue there.
Yeah. Do you remember when Snapchat had the Snap Map or whatever, and you could see everybody's location in real time?
I wasn't very big on Snapchat ever, but maybe.
Okay, so that happened, and I kind of was looking at the map thinking, oh, where is everyone? Because I was, you know, and then I didn't realize how intrusive it was until I realized that my boyfriend at the time was at somebody else's address cheating on me.
God. Well, at least it's good for that then.
Yeah, so Kwame.
Yeah. Oh my God. This is the thing about reunions. You're suddenly rehashing things that happened such a long time ago.
Yeah.
And at this point, you're not going to close any loose ends. You're just going to reopen them and create drama. Oh my God.
Oh, come on. Let's get Amber involved. No, not Amber, Jessica. Kwame's reactions are amazing.
Oh, he's incredible. I love him. Oh my God, there's such a thing about being a girl's girl. If girls didn't make it so difficult to be a girl's girl, maybe more girls would be a girl's girl.
Yeah,
if you get that. I think girls just make it so difficult to be friends with them. Everything's I was talking about this with Zev not long ago, is that girls are so petty and they hold a grudge and they remember everything, and you can't just like, everything has to be such a as opposed to men who just like let things go and they forget about things and it's like, yeah, let's move on.
Why is she getting so worked up about, then again, I think we kind of forget that she's receiving all of this social media attention, that you can ignore a couple of people, I think, but a lot of people on the internet, it's probably difficult to ignore. Look at him being so concentrated on his video game. It's see how uninteresting this reunion is, because we are, I think, like 20 minutes in and we've just been chatting away like nothing's been going on too much.
No, because I think this is just like, come on, they're just going over the same argument they did on the show.
Well,
at least she apologized to her. It's very hard to apologize. It really is hard to admit you did something wrong.
And it seems sincere as well. The apology seems sincere. It's just like, it kind of goes to what we were saying at the beginning of just like, she didn't behave in the best way, but at some point, you just also want to back yourself and think about what you want and what you need. Welcome to Lorit Barisha to the live.
But it really is so hard to react maturely in this kind of situation where it's so emotionally loaded. Sounds like she's talking a mile a minute just so she can get everything in before she gets cut off.
I think, the thing about he promised me and he was like, that's a problem for me of just, you can't expect people to commit forever to something that they say. It's, you want to take people for their word. I think that the real idiot in this story is Jeremy, who just kind of was wishy-washy and things like that. But it's just, I understand Sarah Ann's behavior of reaching out to somebody that she really cared for and was maybe falling in love with. It was misguided, but I understand it. But I understand also Laura being upset. But it's just like, people promise something in the current circumstance, and I think if I giving advice on this particular subject is that if you promise something to somebody else, but then the situation changes and then your general well-being is changing, you want to make your needs a priority and then think about other people. And I think that's selfish. You want to be selfish to a certain extent, and I think in these situations you can't it's difficult to just he's not going to stay with somebody he cares less for because he's afraid to be a bit selfish. It kind of you want to it's tough to navigate, but he
feel one thing in one moment and then something else in another moment. I just don't think you should ever, like, I don't believe, like, I'm like, oh my God, reset. I never say never, when I don't think he should have spoken in absolutes with any of them.
So I'm gonna kind of suggest an idea, or like a theory, a hypothesis. In Love is Blind, if your person that you're dating is having a strong connection with just you, I think because it's all accelerated, you can because it's accelerated, you can trust it because you're both on the same wavelength and just with each other. However, and so I think you can consider that maybe a couple of weeks in the pods is equal to 2 or 3 months in real life because you're on the same wavelength. However, if he's having a similar connection to somebody else, you can't expect him to make you a priority because he's confused and things like that. And I think the pods are designed that way. And you know, I don't want to defend the pods, and I don't want to, you know, saying that's a good and healthy way to meet someone. But I think that's it. If he's having this double connection, you want to proceed with caution of just, well, wait a minute, because yes, it was intense between he and I, but it was also intense with somebody else.
Yeah, it really is hard to accept that, and because on the one hand you want to allow every person to go through their own journey, but then you also want to think of yourself, so it's like sort of a catch-22, because you don't want to accept that someone else is dating someone else, and you don't want to act graciously when they decide to choose someone else, even though it's part of the process.
What did Sarah Ann just say? Jessica removed Sarah Ann from the group chat. I'm just like, God, I love Jessica. Like, she.
Oh my God, that argument of like, I'm not a girl's girl. They're like complaining that she's not a girl's girl, but look at how they're treating her.
Yeah.
Like,
I think you don't want to be judging. It's just, if she were genuine in like, I apologize, but I also want to back myself and things like that, she wouldn't have her back up, and she wouldn't be so defensive and things like that. And, you know, I think her apology was probably genuine, but she's not accepting enough. And also, who cares about being a girl's girl or guy's girl or whatever, you know?
I don't know. It's just really ridiculous, the whole thing.
At the end of the day, you know, she's got the man that she wants and the other one's single, and it's just,
oh yeah, this whole thing's so messy. I think once your relationship starts this messily and dramatic, it's like sort of just gonna be a theme throughout the rest of it.
Yeah.
I mean, look at it. They can't be together quietly anymore. They have to have, like, you know, they can't just be together. They have to have people like watching their every move and saying, "Oh, you were broken up. You get back together."
Yeah, every move is being watched, and so there's the social media pressure. But I think if you're in a relationship that's constantly on and off, just Jesus. I mean, you want it to be off, or I mean, you know, having a couple. Hey, I see somebody. Zev.
Oh, hello. Look at that. We see you.
I think, you know, I think it's okay, you know, during your relationship, a long-term relation, to have a couple of times where you're hesitant and things like that. But over a few months, if you're constantly on and off, just take the hint. This way.
Yeah.
I agree. It's reality TV. Everything is hyped up. The edit, everything is just nutty, you know?
Yeah. But now look at scrutinizing her for saying it.
But, you know, she's saying it's reality TV, it's meant to entertain you, blah, 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 and we didn't miss. But now she's also kind of complaining about the fact that she's being scrutinized. I mean, that's the other side of reality TV. Like, yes, it's meant to entertain us, but it's also meant for people to react and criticize just as they would a film or something. So you know.
Yeah. She's like being, on the one hand, hey, we're just here to entertain you, but then on the other hand, she's getting so defensive whenever she's getting criticized, you know?
You can't have it both ways. Newsflash, you can't have it both ways. He held my dog. Oh my God.
Oh my God, how dare he?
He held my dog. I'd be more offended. Go.
No, I was just gonna say, they're talking as if they have had no idea that this was part of the experiment, you know, as if they didn't know that there was a possibility in this process.
I'd be more offended with, we had sex, more than he touched my cat. You know?
Yeah.
People are chaotic. I'd be such a bad host at this, because I think I'm looking at Vanessa, and you can feel like she's really, I completely see your point, like non-judging, completely just like, I feel your pain. But I'd be like, you guys, honestly, you signed up for this.
I know. Yeah.
Exactly, this is their life. It's like, yeah, they signed up for it. I mean,
oh my God, they're taking it so literally. Are you trying to entertain? Of course. I mean, I don't think that's what she meant. I think she meant like, this is reality TV. Don't take it too seriously.
yeah.
You're supposed to take it as entertainment while it's our real life.
Yeah, but I mean, honestly, realistically, even her, anyone, if somebody around you does something that you disagree with, you're gonna have thoughts about it and feelings about it, and you're not, I think different people will have different reactions about how strongly they'll let it impact their lives. I think it's just human nature. You have an opinion on what other people do. I have friends that I have, opinions on what they do about, I agree, I disagree, and things like that. I don't let it really impact, that infamous couple I talk about often, about how I don't think their relationship is the best one. And I don't think she's aware of this, that I don't really understand their relationship, because somewhere it's not really any of my business. If it gets to a point where I'm like, I think you're really going to fuck up your life, I might say something, but now it's not really my place. And he's not a particularly toxic guy. He's just not a guy I really appreciate, and I stay clear. Oh, it's that thing that they got an argument over AD at the resort, and it got to a big thing. She made a joke, and then Jeremy reported back.
That whole misunderstanding. I felt like it was so ridiculous.
I'm curious to have AD's. AD's been silent throughout all of this, and I think that's the best way to react. Just like, you can have thoughts, but just keep them to yourself.
Yeah. There's that famous saying, I'd rather be perceived as stupid than open my mouth and prove it.
Exactly. Right. Oh, let's talk about.
Oh, hi, Trevor.
Hey, Trevor. Look at him. Beefcake. 90s beefcake.
Yeah. He's huge.
He is huge. Oh, he's got.
At least he got rid of that mullet. Although his haircut, no, wait, what does he have now? Like, his haircut is still very weird. Sorry, we're not here to criticize haircuts, are we?
No.
What is that? You see another girl who comes out and was like, he was my boyfriend at the same time. So easy to fabricate, though.
Yeah.
Like, who's like, are they actually, I don't know, is anyone checking these texts to authentic?
But
what's the word? Authenticized?
Trevor's facial reactions to this whole exchange. Wow. I'm so happy I'm not aware about all of this, because I'm just like, oh my God, the drama.
I know, it's so cringe though. I find it so ridiculous though that they would do that. Like, they would put up the text and go, you like shame him like that. It feels so petty and childish. Or maybe it's needed, like if he really did it. Oh well, he's too calculate, like he's taking too much time to respond, so like it must be somewhat true. Otherwise he would have been straight away, what is that, the plan? No, it didn't happen. Or I'm sorry, it must have happened. And
maybe he signed up to the show and then met someone in between in the meanwhile.
Maybe.
Janina's reactions are just on point. She's just, oh my God, the drama. She knows that she's getting camera time if she gets strong reactions.
Yeah. Oh, Kwame, I love his that's exactly it. I just don't understand why the other woman would go online and share it like that. Like, even if he did something wrong, whatever, why not confront him in person, like personally between you two? I really don't understand. This is what I hate about social media these days. People just feel the need to shame others online. And even if they are terrible people, what's the point? Why? Why do you feel that? Because yes, they're terrible, but you're just as terrible for having to shame them online in front of the world. I don't see any good reason to that. Why? Unless you want the clout as well.
I was going to say, you want to allow people the possibility to fuck up. However, if they never get called up on it, then they kind of feel that they can get away with it. So I don't know, I'm in two minds.
No, look, you should get called out on it, but I don't understand why she had to do that so publicly? Why couldn't she just come to him and speak to him and do that? Like, why does she have to do it in front of the whole world? I mean, we all screw up. We all make these kind of mistakes. And
Yeah.
like, why does she feel the need to do it in front of the world?
That Chelsea is I had this situation why
that
she
sounds
picked you.
like some bull crap.
It is, yeah.
This is like, this is what I don't like, is that he's not coming on there and trying to justify himself. He looks ashamed of himself. He looks like he's beating himself up enough as it is. And then they come and attack him even more. I feel like that's just, I don't know. I just don't like that tactic of like shaming someone even more than they already feel. Yeah.
I think
when no one's trusting you, then get someone who they do trust to stick up for you.
Yeah, that's fair. And I think, you know, it's, he didn't come out engaged, and he didn't come out like, yes he asked, he did he even ask? I mean, I understand what they mean, like you would have gotten engaged and you would promise somebody else and there was drama and blah blah blah, and I get what they're feeling, but it just, no, it didn't happen. So he's ashamed of himself. He's just like, oh my god, the world is judging me and things like that. He feels bad. There's no point in rubbing salt in the wound. He wasn't married when he came to this thing, you know. He wasn't, you know, and she was okay with it, and he was gonna stay. So I agree, the fact that somebody else was kind of concerning, somebody else was okay with this is a bit concerning. You know, you want to have some self-esteem of like not accepting this from your partner, but you know, he's like, I'm sure that he would have been honest with Chelsea about it if she had said yes to him and they would have gotten to the honeymoon stage, or like the Mexico holiday stage. I'm sure he would have told her. I'm sure, like, he would just.
I think he only continued it, and those texts happened after he left the show, and at that point he knew that he wasn't engaged to anyone, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, it's not fair. You need to get over yourself.
Come on, Nick. He's so dramatic.
He is just.
Trevor did want. I mean, he was just like so confused.
You know,
he's walking out, and I can understand why. Like people are just not. They're just shaming him. It really isn't fair.
Yeah, it's horrible. Because if you're not genuine, blah blah blah, then you don't accept people who have been divorced, and you don't accept people because, you know, because you can always argue the fact that, you know, if they're divorced and they don't believe in marriage. And that's really not true.
Unfair of how they are. You
know, and I would. That's just, I don't believe what I just said. But if you're going to talk about genuine blah blah blah, then you just, you know, you give people a second chance.
Yeah, it really isn't. It's so strange to have to watch yourself have a meltdown on live.
I don't know that I would. I mean, I'm not planning to.
I wouldn't rewatch it though.
But I don't know that I would watch it. I would watch it if you know, if I were in Amy's shoes or in Jessica's shoes, I would rewatch it. But reliving the wedding, I wouldn't. I don't know.
No. Maybe just to understand or see the other side, or just to I don't know.
Oh, he is. I felt like he feels like he disrespected her family, and I was like, it's so.
Anyway, it's part of the process.
Yeah. I think you would have disrespected them if you married her and then divorced her.
I like the way he expresses himself, though. He's just very calm, cool, and collected.
He's got that. You know? So we are talking about Clay and AD. We've been talking about Clay and AD for a couple of minutes now. He's got that very suave way of expressing himself.
Yeah, but it's easy to look back and say I made a mistake, but that's what you felt in the moment. You know, you can't look back and say I should have done this, that, and the other. That's really what you generally felt in that moment.
Yeah, and therefore I don't think it's a mistake. I think you can, you know, feel like I don't want to lose her, and we'll see. I love you. So sweet. But I think if he followed his heart at that right moment, he did exactly what he needed to do, even though it's tough. Yeah, it's not too fair. It's not fair that him saying
together.
That it was a mistake.
Look at that smile. They are together. No, maybe not. That was kind of like a.
Pauline is so invested. She's just like, oh my god.
I know.
No, I think I I'm curious to see everybody else's reactions, because he handled himself extremely well.
Yeah.
And I'm a bit disappointed that she's kind of has closed off. And it's funny because I was talking about this weekend with JT. We had a bit of an argument this weekend, I'm not gonna lie.
Ooh.
Kind of an argument about a big argument about just like kids and his daughter, and it was tough.
Yeah.
And I was kind of, and so we slept in different beds, and then the next day I was just kind of thinking, I'm so hard on him, because I think I let things in previous relationships, I let so many things slide that, hey Riff, I let so many things slide in previous relationships that kind of led to downfalls. And now I'm just, and I told him, it's like, I don't want you to pay for what past men have done to me. And so I'm just kind of so harsh on him. And I think this is what's happening with AD, of like, maybe she's let so many things slide that she's not going to let anything slide anymore. And I think this is where, you want to have a bit of a balance. And and I think this is where you want to go with your heart and not with your head.
Yeah. It reminds me of an argument that Zev and I had in the very beginning of our relationship, where I kind of said to him, I feel like you're not arguing with me. You're saying things to me that make no sense. It feels like you're arguing with someone else, because he was still in that defensive mode and reacting to things that happened in other relationships rather than what's actually happening now. And I think she just has a hard time seeing it, that it's about him and not about her or them.
Yeah.
Or maybe she just doesn't want him enough, because if she really wanted him, maybe she would,
I think with marriage is, there's nothing that forces you to rush into a wedding.
Yeah.
With moving in together and with having children, you have biology and you have finance kind of things, but a marriage and things like that, you kind of, you just want to give yourself some time. And I'm not saying rush into having kids or rush into moving with somebody, but here it is just
AD's mom. Even he appreciates the pearl of wisdom that came from AD's mom.
Yeah, they're good. I was going to say this about Sarah and Jeremy, but I didn't. But I was going to say, you want to leave, maybe you want to have the reunion of Love is Blind and then think about your relationship. Just get all of the Netflix drama out of your lives, because you've got Cameron and I can't remember her name. I think it's Camille. I'm not sure. And then Amber and Barnett. They're not here, and I think it's just, and they work because I think they've just let go of Netflix.
They've let go of the drama, and
and I think that's healthy. And I think maybe AD, because AD had to go through it and then relive it with the shows coming out, and and people's reactions and opinions, and then she knew that this was coming. So I think there's a bit of a defense, and I think after this episode, maybe they've got all of their chances to make it work again. But I think while it's all going, you don't have time to digest it. Everything keeps kind of being moved around.
Yeah, but at least they get to let it out.
I think we've talked about this before. I think we don't, as white, light-skinned women, we don't really understand what it means to be black in the States.
No, we don't. I know that also in America, it's like a huge issue. Like they have this whole thing about it. You see, that's the problem, is they're all so concerned at how they will show up in this experiment and how people perceive them. I think it really gets in the way of the whole thing. And it's why so many couples, yes, there are some couples that worked out, but so many more couples could have worked out if they weren't so concerned about what people at home were going to say. Like, I mean, look how much drama they're receiving, how much hate they're getting. It's, it really is.
Because you do have, it is a bit of a cliche, isn't it? That I really don't mean this in a judgmental way. Like, I know we often do disclaimers on our show about, I don't mean this, and but sometimes it kind of gets us annoyed. But here it's because it comes from really not understand. I don't know what it's like, but it does feel like there is a bit of a cliche of a whole generation of black fathers walking out on their families.
Yeah,
And I think it's it's our generation's Black fathers that did this. And so I do understand that there's a bit of a pressure because they're kind of like, reacting to that and not, whatever the reason, the circumstance, etc. I think there's a bit of
I think
that.
I think in general, I think it's like in general, fathers had a tendency to walk out back then and cheat and whatever. And then because there's such a huge stigma and these misconceptions, especially in America around Black people, so it's probably more intense with them in this generation, if that makes sense. I don't know, it's really hard to say as white women, and we don't really understand. I don't think either of us come from a culture that understands that kind of.
No, I mean, I know that the French stereotype abroad is that we're all kind of polyamorous adulterers and unfaithful, and I think I saw that in Emily in Paris, where we could talk about Emily in Paris, but where apparently
very stereotypical.
Yeah,
so
and
look, they're in Paris.
Are they? Oh yeah, talking about Paris. Johnny and Amy were in Paris. They're so beautiful. But Emily in Paris, where I kind of realized, is this the way that we are perceived as unfaithful, hopelessly romantic people? And it's just not really. So we do have these stereotypes, but we don't. I mean, I personally, as a French person living in France, or whenever I'm abroad, I don't suffer from it. As a French person, I suffer from the reputation that we are all horrible, snobby people. So whenever I say I'm French abroad, I suffer from that. Jokingly, yes and no, like it is kind of like we're not very well liked, and sadly I understand.
No, neither are we, especially now. We get a lot of stigmas and hate right now and in general. People like to judge us without actually seeing an Israeli or knowing what we're like. Like people are just they're in love with hating us.
Sad soul. Hi, sad soul. We are fine. We hope you're well. We're watching The Love is Blind.
We're watching Love is Blind reunion and
reacting to
the drama. Oh, you gotta love a clean man. It's funny because Zev is like cleaner than I am, so it's like I think he's the one that's concerned that I'm not clean enough for him.
No, it's not like that in my relationship. JT's got many qualities, but that's unfair. I think we're on a similar wavelength. It's just that I'm slightly less patient than he is when it comes to when things need to be done.
Yeah, so Jessica's daughter is much older than I thought she was. I thought she was like a child.
No, she's
like a teenager. Yeah. That's even more, difficult. Especially since her friends are probably watching these things and seeing everything go on online. Yeah. It's like
I understand that she wants to protect her.
Well, then if you wanted to protect her, you shouldn't have gone on the show to begin with. I feel like her daughter's at the age where her friends are probably seeing all of this online and might, let it out on her.
To be fair, I don't think Jessica's got a bad reputation from this.
I think no.
She may have received some heat after her blowout in the pods, but after that, I think she's fine.
Yeah, probably. Ooh, we like to butt into people's sex life, don't we? It's just not fun with condoms, though.
I will say something about this. Condoms. It is fun to figure out which brand and which size is best. You go through a lot of testing.
I've never been the one to buy condoms or go check. I have no idea. I really don't.
No, but in the sense that when JT and I met, I wasn't on birth control. I'm still not on birth control. We use condoms. Yeah. And we talked about it, and we had this long conversation about the risks and everything. Yeah. And so we just bought a bunch of different types and sizes and things like that, and then just tested them all out to see which one was best. And
that's a good fun game to do, I guess.
It was very entertaining.
I mean, why not?
Exactly.
But yeah, I just let Zeb bring over a bunch of condoms. And then, you know, how is it disrespectful? It's part of the process. You're allowed to talk about, you know, what you're going through. That's the thing to me. The absurd thing is that they're like, they feel the need to apologize for having a conversation with their friend about still having feelings for someone you've just dated and just got rejected from. I don't know.
Sad soul, what are we all listening to? We are watching the latest episode of Love is Blind and reacting to it. So please just hop on. We are 38 minutes from the end because Netflix doesn't really show how far along you are. So please join us and ask your questions.
Yeah, I know.
Oh yeah, unless you put your cursor on.
Yeah, but then you risk losing your...
Exactly. We shan't do that.
No. Yeah, you see, that's the thing. That's why my theory is men need women more than women need men. Because it's exactly what Jimmy's saying now, that he can't talk with his guy
my
friends
mum
about
is
emotional
online.
things. Hi, Mum.
She's with my grandparents right now. We are watching. So I speak usually French with my mother, but I will not.
You can say it in French. We'll enjoy a sexy accent.
Okay, I'll say it in French. On est en train de regarder Love is Blind et on réagit à Love is Blind avec Michelle, my co-host de podcast.
Hello. Anyway, I think it's exactly what Jimmy was saying, that, you know, he can't talk to his guy friends about, you know, about emotions, and girls can do that with their girlfriends. And so that's why, you know, for most men, they'll do that in a relationship. And then if they have, you know, friends that are girls that they talk about emotions, it's weird suddenly, you know?
Yeah, I agree. And JT, I encourage JT to talk to me about his emotions. But he has this great guy friend that he has a really good relationship with, and I tell talk to him about it, because if you open up to him, he's probably going to open up to you in return. And then he says something like, I don't want to be the first. I was like, well,
let's normalize guys having heart-to-hearts.
Exactly. No.
That's just excusing her bad behavior.
I really dislike it when women defend women's bad behavior for the sake of sisterhood. I think it would be a better, you know, if you did something that I disagreed with, I think I'd feel safe saying, you know, Michelle, I think this wasn't the best. Like, you know, I'm still here for you and everything, but this wasn't the best, and you may want to just kind of check that behavior and not say it's fine, you're just processing, blah blah blah. I'm just like, because then we don't evolve and we stagnate in this horrible kind of just not great situation.
And I should appreciate you that as a friend, you come to me and give me constructive criticism. And a healthy, mature way to respond is to be able to accept that and say, thank you for shedding light. Because we have a lot of blind spots, even when we have the biggest self-awareness in the world, like self-awareness. I think it's important to have also to surround yourself with those kind of people who aren't yes men, and who'll tell you the truth and who'll be honest with you. And I think Micah said that, you know, it came from she reacted from a place of pain and hurt and whatever. And yes, it's okay to be hurt, but I think it's such an unhealthy way to respond to it is to attack and to be mean and to, you know, and again, it's why it's so important to work on yourself and have confidence and self-worth, and then you respond, I think, in a calmer way, more relaxed, more mature, and you are able to express your feelings without getting defensive or attacking or anything like that. So
my mum says, honestly, best proof of friendship, and I mean, I agree.
Exactly. Really, it is.
So does Sad Soul. They're having their conversation.
We're in
Thank
agreement.
you guys
it's a
for
really
interacting.
Good friendship. Are fun. We really should normalize that, being able to tell each other the truth.
And I think it's, you know, you also kind of want to make it okay that you can take it badly and leave the door open as well, of just, you know, okay, I didn't really like this, I'm just going to give myself a bit of time to thanks, I just need to digest it. And the door's always open, but it's, you know, because also,
Yeah.
you know, because we took our friendship as an example, it's like your life does not revolve around me and my life does not revolve around you. And so, you know, I'm gonna maybe say something and not have all of the information, and you're gonna react in a way without having all of my information, and it's just, you know, have that type of just, you know, we'll say this and it's just, and you can take it or leave it, of just like, yeah, you don't find that's how you're feeling, I disagree, and just agree to move on, as long as we're not fundamentally kind of, you know, if I start saying that I completely understand what was going, like, Muslim point of view, like if I was completely against Gaza and everything, I think that would be a point of contention that we can really come back from. Like there are some things where if we disagree, then I think that's just, you know, profound values. This isn't the case, you know. There's some things that you just, you know, JT was talking about, he steers away from people who drink and drive and things like that. He's just like, I steer away from these things, and these profound values are fine to kind of end a friendship. But if it's just random mistakes that have no consequence, then you know, accept and move on.
But it's also being able to look at to accept the fact that your friend may have different views from you. You may agree on one thing and disagree on another thing, and that's okay, as long as you're able to have an open conversation and communicate about it and listen to the other person. You know, there's certain things that, you know, if your values don't align, then what can you do? But like, you know, you need to accept that a person may see things differently. So
I was going to say, I'm seeing that there are people following the live, so I'm really happy about it. You'll follow the Pop Culture Cupid Instagram page and Spotify, Pop Culture Cupid, and YouTube.
Yeah, join us there too.
That's where this is, like, technical difficulties. We were doing the live on our other pages. But please follow, you know, Pop Culture Cupid. You can follow out, you know, Michelle Lehman and Love Coach Alison as well. But this is all going on Pop Culture Cupid, YouTube, Instagram, Spotify, and we're all, you know, going to post there. And great way to support us and our professional ventures.
I lost track of what was going on over there.
Yeah, same. Talking about Jimmy, they're talking about Jimmy and Jessica.
Reacting to how Chelsea was dragged through the mud.
Yeah, I think she's talking about how, you know, she was judged in a harsh way, of just like, because she was given a rough edit in the pods about how she overreacted when he ended things with her. But since then, she has been so mature, and I think getting out of the pods and seeing her daughter in the light kind of centered her back to who she really is.
Yeah.
And I think this is the proof of Sad Soul. We are watching the Love is Blind reunion on Netflix. I think the fact that she is behaving so elegantly, and even before her big blow up, she was so calm and just like, I want you to be sure and explore the connections, which is what I was saying earlier. You want to explore, it's okay to explore different connections, because then it makes you completely sure about something, which isn't something that Jeremy did. He kind of was, you know, rushed into it, and you know, maybe he just ran out of time. That's fine, but he wasn't sure about it. I think it does feel more like a coin toss. And it's I once had an argument with a friend, which I was just like, am I in the wrong here? And really arguing. And anytime I talk about it, I go at it wanting to tell people that she was in the right, because I really don't want to give her a bad reputation. And then people end up saying, no, but you're both kind of in the wrong here, and you're both, you know, and your behavior is understandable, blah blah blah, don't worry about it. But you know, you don't want to mess people up for just the sake of messing people up, you know.
Or just defending yourself by throwing someone else under the bus. It really isn't. And being self-aware of your own actions and behaviors, and being able to say, I was wrong. I think that's I mean, we like to respond out of ego, but I think being able to admit that you were wrong and point out what you did that was hurtful to another person is such a testament to how confident you are. is that you're able to put someone else above you, or to affirm someone else's feelings, or and to say, I don't, I'm not going to be egotistical. I'm not going to try and win this argument and be the right person. And I like how Jessica expresses herself. She's like not getting all worked. I mean, she's getting tearful and whatever because it's emotional, but she's not getting all worked up and arguing. Oh my God, I also want Reese's.
Michelle, elle dit, moi aussi, je veux des Reese's.
Yeah, can I also have some?
You can have some when you come.
I will. Oh, I need to come at some point. Once they start flying again, my God. But I think, it's hard to... There's always three sides to every story. His side, her side, and the truth. People see things differently. And, it really depends on... He walked out. He's the one that walked... Oh, they walked out together.
So he's saying that she walked out 10 minutes after and they both walked out. So 8 minutes later, they come back in.
I think they made her seem more hysterical than she was in their breakup, because then,
you know why they did that? They made her seem hysterical because she's a beautiful woman, and it's easy to make a beautiful woman like she seem superficial.
Yeah. Oh my God, that Megan Fox comparison. Never compare yourself to anyone. Never tell anyone what you think you look like. Just don't do it.
So what are you doing with your hair? Right, interesting.
Who? Which one of us? What are you doing with your hair?
I don't know.
Maybe because I always play with my hair. Is that it? Or
I don't know. I haven't noticed.
I always play with my hair. It's like since I was a child, it's like my thing,
Oh, Tiffany had a baby, or is she pregnant right now?
I think she's pregnant.
Oh, it's not Tiffany, it's Bliss. Was it Tiffany? Oh, I don't know. I'm sorry, I'm confusing people.
Tiffany. No, wait, no, they just showed Tiffany and I think
maybe they're all having babies.
Oh my God. This is so confusing.
Bliss
and Zach, maybe?
I mean, that definitely is Bliss and Zach. Maybe Tiffany was also pregnant at one point. I don't know.
I think they're just showing Tiffany without... I think... whatever. It is very confusing.
Back to the whole comparing yourself to a celebrity on the awful comment and things like that. I think so I've been compared to that actress from Twilight. What's her name?
I know who. Kristen Stewart.
Yeah, so I've been compared to her, and I've been compared vaguely to Liza Minnelli. And I would never describe myself as looking like them. Like I just don't think that I do. I just don't think that I look like them. But just one, I don't think we've got a similar face. But I think a fair way of saying, okay, I do. People have said I look like them, but I'm slightly plumper than one of them, and maybe it's the dramatics of my attitude with the other. Like I would say like, don't expect a skinny short-haired person. Like it's just I've got brown hair and maybe I've just very white skin, and but I don't know. And I think a fair way if she really didn't want him to think that she looked like Megan Fox, she would have said, I look like Megan Fox but plus size, and I think that would have been a completely fair way of looking at it.
I think she shouldn't have said anything, especially in this experiment. The whole point is not knowing what you look like, and it's just creating an expectation that even if you add an asterisk to it, he's still gonna hear that Megan Fox, and the rest is I don't know. I just think it's a mistake. But
it's a show about falling in love without having any expectations about what you look like, and this is just it's silly. It's silly.
I know.
Alexa and Brennan are expecting. We've talked about Alexa. I really don't like Alexa.
she's a type of person that you need to
I mean, it's that whole thing. We haven't heard anything about Brittany and I don't know, Brittany and the black guy. You know, the really religious guy. We haven't heard about.
They're sitting there. They're still sitting
yeah, they're
there.
sitting next to each
Yeah,
other.
here they are. Look, Brittany and Kenneth.
Oh,
But in Hebrew we say you should have spoken for $1,000 dollars. There must be something in English that I'm forgetting now. Like when you say something and then a minute later it happens or something like that.
yeah. It's like we were feeling it.
Yeah. It's like that Chandler. Have you watch Friends? Where on the first episode is like, I just want to get married again, and then Rachel
walks in,
and I just won $1 million. Like...
I agree. The thing with sex before marriage. So speaking it, sorry, Mum, you're going to hear something really intimate. Having had a lot of sex,
time to log off if you don't want to hear.
Go away. Go away.
Go away.
But I've had sex with a certain amount, just more than several men, let's say. So she says, telling what you look like is one of the worst compliments to give. It mensonge. It means that you will not like who you really are. Yeah. So she means she's saying, if you saying that you look like someone, it's just a lie, and you're avoiding the actual truth about who you are. And I agree. That's a very that's a very good way of putting it. If you're just talking about your envelope, then you're not talking about who you are deep down.
Yeah.
Come back to the having sex before marriage.
Yeah,
it is
about
important.
Your sex life.
The whole, because we were also talking about this Christian couple that's not having sex before marriage, and she was saying, sex should not be it should not be everything. And I agree. Of just sex should be something extra. It's important, but it shouldn't be the whole relationship, because you'll go through phases without having sex, whether it's in your relationship or in life and things like that. And people who have sex every day with their partner, I mean, great, but it shouldn't be everything. And also sex, just like working out, just like learning an instrument, you can make it better, but you can't make your personalities much better. Like,
no, that's
you
true.
want to work on everything else.
Although again, also the physical part, if you don't have that physical chemistry, then you don't have it. There's certain people just that can't, no matter how much they try, they can't, have that physical chemistry. But you don't need to have sex to know that you have it. That's the difference.
Yeah.
I think.
And just like, sometimes you can also feel the tension build up just by talking. And, you must have had this, like, you feel the tension building and building and building, and then so sex just has to be amazing, even though it's just missionary, because it's been building so much. So I put the disclaimers.
Don't put missionary down like that. I think it's the best. You can be covered and squished and hugged and held and not do the work. No, I'm joking.
I'm glad you're the one that said that.
I think missionary is underrated, and it's a cliche for a reason.
Yeah, I think it's this, you just described it in kissing and hugging and things like that, and it's amazing. I think the problem with sometimes it's just laying there and doing nothing. The problem. You want to interact with your man. Yep, thanks, Mum, for reacting and laughing. Love it. But sex, you can always build on, and it's not the amount of people. And so this, coming from somebody who's had sex with a certain amount of men, I right now would think that that was a part of my life that just needed to happen. But right now I don't think it's as important. I know sex is important, but you want to build on everything else first. And I think that this type of behavior of just learning who you are is so healthy and so important, and sex should just be on top of that.
The problem is a lot of people have a difficulty talking about these things, both with sex and with personal things, or learning how to accept each other or grow together. And I think sex has just become this taboo thing that it over overpowers everything else just because of that.
Yeah, sex is it's this weird thing with sex where you think it's so important, yet it's taboo, and we don't really talk about it. Maybe we should have an episode of just talking about sex and how our views on it, because personally my view on sex has so evolved. I'm 32, and the first time I had sex I was like a month before I turned 18, and it's has evolved and changed, and you want to
these days they have sex at 12 apparently.
And that's so young.
It is.
It's just at the beginning of this episode.
Wait,
Laura was more.
Not to cut you off, but I don't get it. Are Kenneth and Brittany together or not?
I think they're dating.
Oh, okay, fun.
Yeah, I think they're dating.
Okay.
Because
what were you saying?
I was saying that Laura was more offended about the fact that Jeremy touched her dog rather than had sex with her and then treated her badly. It's just no, I think you've got that wrong. I think your priorities and hierarchy of what's sensitive are off there. So I think I don't regret anything about my sexual history, but you want to
learn
exactly but if I were to talk to a younger version of myself or teenagers or something, it's just like you just want to wait for it and discover who the person is. And thanks, sad soul. Good night. Thank you for following along. I'm wondering where you are in the world.
Good night.
This is nearly over anyway. That we've got
I think we have like 10 minutes
to
left.
go. Let's get I love receipts.
God, we love receipts. It's so important, especially these days. Like people just believe at face value. People could just like invent whatever they want, and it's like solely true. And I see it all over the place.
Oh, this is very boring. Let's just talk about something else whilst this is going on and keep an eye on.
Yeah, we were just rehashing what happened with Matt, and he said the same thing to
two women. So he did. So basically somebody gave the same talk to two women, and it turns out it's kind of right. He talked the same way to two different people, and it's just it's not an amazing move, but also you're getting to know several people at the same time, and and feel and we love AD, but I think AD kind of just being offended, like she was also entertaining something with Clay at the same exact time.
But they're also literally in a bubble. Like that pod is like a bubble where you sort of forget what happens outside of it or with other people. So you're so caught up in that moment where it's like, I don't know.
And also I think what I tell people is you want to be vulnerable, and that's such a complicated notion, but you want to if you want people to get to know you and you want to get to know people, you have to completely open up. And and I think I'm not defending Matthew because he's got his very unnerving character traits, well, according to the edits anyway, but he threw himself in it. He opened up and was very honest about his emotions, and I don't think it came from a manipulative way. I think he was trying to be honest and just misguided.
I think he also just isn't used to this whole thing. I think he found himself in the deep end, out of his element, and it was just way too much for him.
And I think also even though we love AD, I think you're not entitled to what people say about themselves. Who are you to say, oh, you should only say these things to me and things like that? I think even JT and I have been over for over a year now, and we're just and we're talking about the concept of cheating and things like that, and and I was saying emotional cheating and things like that, and but you are not entitled to what your partner says to other people. And there's, if this person is being very intimate with other people, what
AD went out on a few dates with Matthew. Poor Clay having to sit there watching her talk about
Yeah,
her
it's so
date with
uncomfortable.
Matt.
I'm so disappointed. Like, it's
Okay,
good
at
that
least it
she
fizzled out.
it's good that she gave a second chance to Matthew. Why isn't she giving a second chance to Clay?
That's a very good question. Very good question. I think it's good she went back to double check herself and make sure that she didn't make a mistake or whatever. If she felt the need to, cross her T's and dot her I's. But like, what about Clay? Clay
has been so straight and just regular the whole time.
Yeah. Oh, gotta love him. I love the way he responds. I love the way it's like always so calm. He's not like, accepting and allowing her to have her thing and without getting all dramatic and jealous.
Yeah, you wanna, you're allowed to have your feelings. You are allowed to have your feelings about how other people behave, especially if you are kind of involved. You're completely allowed, but also accept that you're not the center of the world, and don't be dramatic.
Allowed to have their feelings.
And they're allowed to have their feelings, and it's just, it's complicated, it's messy. These are the reasons why I don't really understand polyamory. For having, I know somebody who's I know a couple of people, especially one woman who's very strong in my heart, who's polyamorous and has several relationships at the same time. And I've kind of, I can't really say that I've tested it out, but I've thought about it and kind of dated guys who were polyamorous. But it's just so complicated dealing with everybody's emotions and not getting offended and things like that. And it's just,
but again, who has time for that? Like, who has time and energy for that? I barely have time and energy for one relationship. Like,
exactly.
So more than that, it seems just like, I think it's just a trend these days of people just needing to consume as much as they can and not being able to settle for one thing. And there's so much in the world that you want to experience everything.
I agree. The whole, non-committal and over-consuming society.
Have your cake and eat it too, or something like that, wasn't it?
Exactly. Which I don't really understand, but I think that's the expression. But with cake, you want to have cake and eat it too.
No, weird. But in Hebrew we say like eat the cake and keep it whole.
Oh, that's what it means. Oh, like have it but eat it at the same time. I said this in a previous episode. In French, it's le beurre, l'argent du beurre, et le cul de la crémière. The butter, the money from the butter, and the woman's ass. And JT's heard the expression.
Hi, JT.
He hasn't been reacting to a lot, but that he heard.
Selective hearing.
Exactly, selective hearing. What's Mrs.
Oh yes,
Currington?
Isn't polyamor a new way to not feel guilty shitting?
Yeah, she means cheating. My mother's French.
It's I think it's legitimizing for yourself to be able to what happened?
Oh, Izzy and Micah are going to be on the next season of Perfect Match. I thought they were going to announce that they were dating.
Oh, boring.
So my mum says, isn't polyamory a new way of not feeling cheating? And Kami is responding with, lovely to find this open window for discussion. Yeah, thanks for joining.
Yeah.
This is somebody I told you about we wanted to have on the podcast, and it kind of is not working out. But I mean to message you about being a guest on our podcast, Pop Culture Cupid. But Mum, if you want to be a guest as well, we're going to speak English.
Yeah, your mum sounds pretty cool.
She's got an amazing little French accent.
Oh, we love it.
She's got great grammar, but a nice French accent, which I think a lot of people enjoy.
I love the French accent.
Yeah, it's a guilty about not cheating. I think for people who are truly polyamorous, I think it's just they've got a way of dealing with it that's completely alien to me. And Mama, I know you. I think you know who we're talking about because she knows the woman. And I guess this woman is also kind of hiding the fact that she cheats sometimes. And I agree, it's a complicated subject. I think there are people who are truly polyamorous, and I think that there are people who are just using it as an excuse to be non-committal and just like, oh, but I told you.
With this generation of, you have everything at the palm of your hand. there's so much information and stimulation, and it's just
His name is
you-
Andreas. Sorry, Kumiori 3. I was just like, his name isn't Kumi, it's Andreas. Sorry.
Oh, hi, Andres. Thank you for joining us. We like having open discussions. I think it's so important as well today.
Yeah.
I wish more people had open discussions about things.
Yeah, he and I had an amazing chat about planets and how it kind of chaos and everything. It was great. And I think we want to have this type of conversation on the podcast of just making parallels and just talking about how the environment impacts us. So the episode of Love is Blind is ending, and I think so is our live. It's been going on for an hour and a half.
Yeah. Oh my God, we've been on for a very long time, haven't we?
Longest podcast ever. I think we're going to give it a good edit though, because of a lot of kind of blank spots.
Yeah.
So Perfect Match. I don't know that we'll be talking about Perfect Match because it was. I mean, the first. I think I'll watch it and then we can see. What we feel, but we're not going to be reacting as much. I think Love is Blind is a great way of kind of questioning what we think and looking at things like that, because we've had great conversations about cheating and opening up and being honest with yourself and honest with other people, and self-awareness, which is our new jingle. Self-awareness. Self-awareness I think is the sexiest trait.
Wait, I don't get it. Are Jimmy and Chelsea still together?
I don't know, it didn't come up.
I think we missed.
Did it? Well, uninteresting.
I don't know.
So yeah, I think
it's
so thanks to we've had a bunch of people kind of logging on and off. Thank you for watching, guys. I think that my mum and Andreas are the last two on, but we've had a few people interacting, which is great. We really appreciate it.
We do. It's really fun. It's nice having conversations like this, and hopefully we'll be able to do it more.
Yeah, you guys can follow the Pop Culture Cupid podcast page on Instagram, Spotify, YouTube.
Yeah. Apparently we need more followers to be able to go live on Pop Culture Cupid.
Yeah, exactly. We need to do that, and then I think we'll go live on YouTube when we are together, and we'll figure it out for Pop Culture Cupid. But we're happy to have other. This kind of works out, having a live podcast recording.
Yeah, I think once we're able to do it on YouTube, it will be easier, because on YouTube it gives you the ability to join with Zoom and things like that. But anyway.
Mum says it is a proper step back into middle age, being polyamorous, times when it was normal to have multiple lovers.
Yeah, well, in some cultures and religions, it's still popular. Apparently,
my voice sounds strange. Maybe my mic is going off, and also I've got a bit of a cold. Anyway, thanks
everyone for joining us.
We will log off Instagram right now. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, we will.
And bye everyone.
Bye bye.